Guys, it's Amy from thecrazycraftlady.com. Today I'm going to show you how I finally organized and labeled our entire fridge. Okay, here we are in my crazy messy fridge. The first thing that I did is I kind of developed a new system and I tested it out for a few weeks. The main change that I made was I moved our leftovers and my paint roller onto this top shelf because I feel like we waste so much food, and I figure if I put the leftovers on a top shelf, then maybe we won't waste as much because, you know, leftovers tend to get pushed to the back of the fridge, forgotten about, and then thrown away. So I kind of created our new system by just using masking tape labels, thinking here's kind of where I want stuff to go, and I tested it out for a few weeks and it's worked pretty well. I'm going to make a few little tweaks to it, and now I'm going to go thoroughly clean out our fridge and make new labels with permanent adhesive vinyl on my Cricut. So I've opened a new project in Cricut Design Space and I'm going to design all my labels. I went ahead and measured all of my shelves and my drawers, and I know that I have some labels that need to be maximum of 1 inch tall and some that can be a maximum of 1.5 and others that can be a maximum of 2 inches tall. So I'm going to keep that in mind and kind of work in batches as I make my labels. I am going to use this American typewriter font that I downloaded. It's kind of my favorite font for making labels with Cricut. I've used this font on, I believe, my pantry jar labels as well as the drawers in my craft room. So it's pretty tried and true. It's thick enough that it's easy to transfer or to weed into transfer. So I'm going to use that again here. So I'm going to start with my 2-inch label drawers. And I'm going to switch to my American typewriter. And I'm going to zoom out, and I can make this up to 2 inches tall, but I don't think I'm going to do that far. There we go. I'm going to lock that now, and then I'm going to duplicate to label my other drawers. Okay, so now I've got my largest labels done, and now I'm going to go ahead and make all of my smaller labels and then go ahead and cut this all out on my Cricut. Arranged my labels just a little bit so that I can do it in 2 different cuts. Sometimes when you hit make it and Cricut arranges stuff on the mat for you, I feel like it's kind of inefficient and there's a lot of wasted vinyl. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this whole thing and I'm just going to weld it together. Make sure that you weld as your very, very last step, because the only way to unweld, so to speak, is to hit the undo button. So you want that to be the last thing you do. So in case you want to rearrange or anything, you can just hit the undo button. There we go. So now I can just hide this guy and make this one and then flip them. Now I'm going to cut this all out of my Cricut, weed everything, and put these labels on my fridge shelves. One thing that I found to be really helpful are these clear plastic storage containers for our bacon and our deli meat. The containers from the store usually leak, and it's kind of a mess and a hassle. This way everything's contained in these nice stackable containers that I've labeled. Also, a handy trick, when you take the deli meat out of the container, put the date that you opened it on a piece of masking tape so that you know when it's time to toss the meat, when it's no longer good. Another thing that I really like, and this is completely free, we shop at Aldi, and their salsa comes in these fantastic wide mouth jars that I will reuse for everything. So in this case, this is iced coffee. I'll brew a batch of coffee and then pour it in these jars and keep it in the fridge.